Well, great to be with you. Meteorologist Mike Prangley. I want to thank Jackson Brown here and doing it all behind the scenes. And thought it was important to get here on Facebook and YouTube for an update. We've got a very busy weather day. It's one of my favorite kind of days. I don't have any severe weather per se, anything like that, but we're tracking stratus coming at us. And then we're tracking some rain showers, some very strange objects in the sky that we have not seen in so long. So here we are. We look downtown and they say a picture tells 1,000 words. And we're going to see this today, more of a cloudy day. And you see, we still have dry roads as expected. Main Street back to the Acosta Main Street Bridge. Had to give a runner index or a weather digit of a 5 out of 10 today because, well, we got that wind. So you're okay when you're running with the wind, but when you're going against it, it's going to make for some tough sledding, as I like to say. So a windy day, a nor'easter is really taking shape here, and it's more of a local nor'easter. So we'll go over there for seeing what a regular nor'easter is and a local nor'easter. But if we do get some showers, likely the heaviest at the beaches and along the coast, and it would be this afternoon. So that's the big thing here is I'm updating here and looking at all the new data coming in as I speak to you live. And as we look at that forecast planner, forecast high, that's 67. Don't let that fool you. That's when we started on Good Morning Jacksonville this morning at 429. And because that northeast wind is started to really build in off the ocean and pick up in speed, we're going to see temperatures fall this afternoon. What was interesting, as I got to work, we had a very light west wind. And it was actually feeling really warm outside. So folks just waking up, you're saying, what are you talking about? Well, the wind, the nor'easter was still to the north with the front. And then as the morning went on, by 7 a.m., the front came through, winds switched to the northeast, and they picked up speed. So notice a couple things to pick out. That's not rain you're seeing. There's little rain symbols right here. So you're seeing these little things. What are these little squiggly things? Well, not raindrops. That's wind coming out of the northeast as we head through today. So just keep in mind what that is. And then really the big thing to pick out is these low rain chances, just 30%. Right here as we go through the afternoon. So if we do see the rain, there will be a couple spots, not a widespread rain or significant drought buster or anything like that, but just a lot of rain here as we go into the afternoon tonight and tomorrow. So rain amounts in many areas. We'll talk about that here during our streaming show. We got another 25 minutes or so. Wind advisory until 8 o'clock. That's the big thing with this nor'easter. Every nor'easter is different. Winds at 15 to 35 miles per hour. Light jackets, they'll be needed. Those temperatures will be falling to near 60 degrees, and the heaviest rain would be at the coast, especially this afternoon. So if you have plans, you have some errands to run. I think my dog's got a vet appointment at 1 o'clock. Just keep in mind there will be a few increasing showers, but again, more confined to the coast. And that's what we're going to be watching on radar at this time. All right. So as we look at the overall picture, got the latest data in and just literally the model's updating. Our official wind advisory until 8 o'clock does include Brunswick to Fernandina, back down into Duval County. So South Jacks Beach, and it does include Duval County really east of I-95. So keep that in mind. And look what sticks out there. That's wind gusts of 25 to 40 miles per hour. So when the winds get up to 40 miles per hour, you need 39 mile per hour sustained winds for a tropical storm. Now, this isn't a tropical storm, of course, but you're going to have some tropical storm force gusts out there as we head into, especially this afternoon. And then gale warnings for boaters, that means stay off the water. I mean, you got small craft advisory, but then the next level would be the gale warnings and then the storm warnings above that. But gale warnings, that's 25 to 35 knot winds. Those dangerous seas at 8 to 11 feet. So everything's shaded in pink as a result of the gale warning. And this nor'easter blowing in the high surf as well. Jackson, we have that Jack's Beach camera that was showing some of that this morning. A very angry sea. Big white caps coming in and surf up near 9 feet as we go into this forecast. And there it is. Pretty interesting, huh? We got that camera shaking and shimmying all around, doing a little dance. And you can see the angry Atlantic Ocean continuing to churn out there. And as we go through the afternoon, tonight, and tomorrow, the nor'easter will roar on, okay? And of course, stay out of the water. We said stay out of the water. Boats should stay at shore, stay on the dock, keep the dinghy at the dock, as Tim Deegan used to say. And then also stay out of the water. Dangerous rip currents at least through tomorrow. So a lot of shading along the coast. Temperature-wise, yeah, it's been interesting. This morning we started at 67, 68. We're pretty much close to 70. And then once that wind came in, yeah, boy, St. Augustine, 64. Look at Brunswick and St. Simons down to 61. And we're about 9 degrees now cooler than 24 hours ago up towards St. Simons Island. So we're watching our friends up in Glynn County. And then you pivot back toward the west there, Keystone Heights, 7-degree drops. The temperatures are down and the winds are up. There it is. We've got 37-mile-per-hour wind gusts now at Mayport, 33 in St. Simons Island here. 35 in Jacksonville. So thus the wind advisory, everything is really verifying here. And then what we normally see, us locals know, the farther inland you go with these nor'easters, not quite as windy, but we're still seeing some pretty good winds for Keystone Heights standards into Gainesville. That's pretty impressive when you got some 25-mile-per-hour gusts, even to Alachua County. So this nor'easter is really winding up. And hopefully we can get this wind, churn up some moisture, and we can throw some moisture back in because we've got that extreme drought. And as we look at the next 12 hours, yeah, I'm looking at the updates and this model literally updating the rainfall chances, and it's just keeping it low at this point at 30%. And then there's all that wind all the way through 7 o'clock. And by the time you drive home, picking up the kids from school, it'll only get chillier for sure. So as we look at the area that would see a better chance of rain than wind, well, how about both? St. Augustine would be one of the areas that would see a better chance, at least, of some showers. So really, most of your coastal convergence, where there's a little bit more moisture in the atmosphere to work with, the farther south you go into the southeast. So look at that. Instead of a 30% chance, St. Augustine would be one of my areas to watch for 60% chances of showers, maybe even peaking up to 70% by 7 o'clock. So our words of the day. All right, let's see. We got spring shower, stiff wind, and sneaky chill. Yeah, that's sneaky chill for sure. It's caught up, so make sure you have your jackets out there. So we've got a nor'easter that's revving up. Usually your typical nor'easter has a big area of low pressure. You get some heavy rain. We've had nor'easters that have dropped 5, 6, 7 inches of rain, sometimes even more, almost like acting like tropical systems for us. And they really feed off temperature contrast in the Atlantic Ocean between the ocean water and these fronts that come down from Canada. Now, this time around, we're not seeing the big temperature differences. So instead of a full-fledged nor'easter in an area of low pressure with heavy rain that we see with some of the big monster nor'easters, this one's more of what we call a local nor'easter. So it's caused really by that pressure gradient that's going to tighten today as high pressure moves south, and you got this little trough of low pressure, an area of low pressure offshore, not the big mammoth ones we see. So it's a nor'easter, it's a local nor'easter, and it's going to do its best to give us at least a few showers. There's the coastal showers for St. Johns County. Trying to get into Duval, that's 4 o'clock today. So if we have wet roadways, the later we go in the afternoon, the better chance of seeing that. And as you can see, boy, really confined to the coast. What's happening here, and I don't have a PW model up, basically a model precipitable water that really measures the moisture in the atmosphere at the surface, 5, 10, 15, 20,000 feet. But if you look at the profile, it's just so dry. So what we need is collisions. We need some collisions, something to happen to lift the air because we know the atmosphere is so dry. So where are the collisions going to happen? They happen when that rush of wind hits the coast. All right, so we call coastal convergence, and that's why we're forecasting most of the rain with this local nor'easter for our areas at the beaches. You can see that front moving south. 8 o'clock, we're going to get baseball in here downtown, just a little chilly. And then tomorrow, I said late tonight and tomorrow, maybe, we have a little disturbance working to the south out of the northwest. So for our friends in inland areas, I said, well, you're going to have a chance of some rain at least. Don't count on it much today, but maybe tonight and tomorrow morning. Look at the extended outlook. It's trying to pop a little bit inland, but it's just having trouble with that upper level disturbance. So if you're in Waycross, Lake City, I know it's been a struggle to get rain. This one's going to be a struggle. A few showers maybe as we wake up, but overall, this latest update on the model, not even as bullish as this morning. So that's why our nor'easter, more wind than rain. That is our weather story here. And I'm just looking at the latest stuff also coming in as I speak to you. So more wind than rain. We know it's a local nor'easter. Watching the weather maps. What we'll do, of course, we're going to go county by county and get to some of those rainfall forecasts and even have your haiku poetry here shortly. But I'm going to give you a sneak peek at this 7-day forecast as we go into time. So there's Wednesday afternoon. Yeah, maybe another quick shower, but really, if we look at the overall picture, we're keeping our plans in that 7-day forecast. The best I can do, I'm keeping the rain chances at 30% right now. And again, we showed you if you're in St. Augustine, higher than that, 60, but most of us right around 30, even lower inland. And it does look like as we go into Wednesday, late day, we'll start to clear out a little. So 73 degrees. And then back to the 80s. 2 days this week into the 80s. And then we will have another local nor'easter try to rev up. This one again, not much moisture to work with. So keeping the rain chances 20% or less Saturday and Sunday for those plains. And look at those cooler highs in the 70. It's right around 70. It's just amazing what that wind direction can do this time of year. And overall, that's what our weather team's going to be watching and tracking as we go into this forecast. Latest here on the rainfall amount. So that's the question. We know the rainfall totals are going to stay on the lower side, but the rainfall amounts, let's get into it. Let's go first of all to your Doppler radar. There's our jumbo shrimp playing Friday. We know it's good. Good for soccer, good for baseball tonight, and Saturday for the ladies playing some soccer. You're looking live at our Doppler radar, and here's some of these showers that are just to our east. So as we come on down here, take a look at this, and these will continue to try to drift inland. So that arrow right in here, this little corridor here. So if you're in St. Augustine, it still looks like we are watching most of the best chances of rain toward the coastal areas. Now, Tuesday rain chances for today, again, farther south of Metro, along the coast. Waycross inland area is going to stay low, 10 to 30%. Green Cove Springs, yeah, it's going to be tough. Palatka, it's going to be tough. I'm still thinking that dark shade of green would be more I-95 east in St. Johns and Flagler County based on some of the latest data coming in. Today's highs, there it is, cooler. 60s to near, we've already reached the highs. And if you look at the latest weather icons, you can see most of us showing a lot of clouds, more wind than rain. And you got a few drops of rain in there for Sawgrass, St. Augustine, Fernandina. So even Nassau County, we're going to try to get you a little bit of rain today. But at this point, it's going to be a struggle bus. So weather where you live. Let's go county by county. If you're looking for some rain up toward where? Brantley, Pierce County. We have late tonight. There's a little disturbance moving through. That's your best chance, but not looking like much, right? Light shower or two, maybe. Yeah, don't count on many slick roads. Just slow down. Stream First Coast News Plus as we go into areas of Glen, Camden, Charlton County, watching Folkestone and areas of Fernandina, Brunswick, and in these areas in Nassau County. Spotty showers, more hit and miss, and it looks like the best chance of your rain, even though you could get a shower or two this afternoon, would be late tonight into tomorrow morning. So we'll continue to watch this on Good Morning Jacksonville as we wake up Lake City. It looks pretty barren out there. It's like the great desert of Lake City to Rayford. We're talking about the best chances of rain between 1 and 7 a.m. tomorrow mornings. We're waking up, trying to get the kids to school, getting to work, light showers, brief at best. All right, so cool feature though, if you're one of the lucky ones that get the showers. Not everybody's going to see rain, especially in areas toward McClenny and Rayford and Lake City. But we got our weather app, and you can download it, and free download, and you can literally zoom in on your neighborhood. We headed off to Duval. There it is, and yeah, we're getting a little better. We're getting closer to the ocean, right? Little coastal convergence. There could be a couple showers out there off and on. Some brief showers. The south side, I got Mandarin I'm watching over to E-Town. 295 east. Come on, nature. You can do better than that. Hopefully, as we update here this afternoon as weather team, we'll be able to show you more in the way of rain. So if you're in Duval County, the best chances of rain between 4 and 8 o'clock. We'll keep you updated on that. Look at this. Then we go to Putnam and Clay County. We've got 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. on those showers. So really late day evening. But if you're seeing what I'm seeing, not looking the best, is it? It looks like most of those showers to your east as expected. So light showers, more of a miss on the rain. Have the app alerts and download it on FCN Plus. All right, St. John's, Flagler County, congratulations. You're my breadwinners for the rain. And I don't know if we should say that because it's going to be more on the lighter side, but there's a couple models that want to paint some downpours right along the coast. There could be a lucky few that maybe see some beneficial rain. I said a lucky few, maybe where you see some of the yellow there showing some brighter reflectivity. That would be Crescent Beach back to Palm Coast. Okay, hopefully that comes true for some folks out there. And that'd be 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. as that rain really peaks out this afternoon. Heavier showers, wet roadways, have the umbrellas, and slow down. Now, if we had this more wide, this is what we need over the entire area, not just that little 5 to 10 mile sliver I'm showing you here on the map. So overall, the weather where you live, yeah, we're talking about our forecasts, and I showed you our personalized forecast. Let's see if the models agree. This is the American GFS model. And hey, it's showing some more rain, at least for St. John's and Flagler County, but still not even close to what we really need to get out of this drought. So, what, a third of an inch or so. And then Palatka, we're trying 1900s. And then the farther north and west you go, it just lowers down to less than a tenth of an inch for most of Duval, Clay, Nassau County, and then up toward Brunswick, St. Mary's, Waycross, where you're going to be closer to that big high pressure that's bringing in this wind. You're going to be drier in less than 500ths of an inch. HRR model. This has been my favorite model of all. And look at this, just lighting up. I hope this comes true. I do. The only problem, this is an anomaly. Okay. So as meteorologists, we look for consensus on the models, what we're thinking, what we're seeing with the radar. And this is more of a model that's out on its own. It's a renegade model. All right, so you'd see St. Augustine and Palatka, where you see the blue, that would be beneficial rain. Maybe we can get a couple of spots there over an inch of rain. Palatka, maybe over 3/4 of an inch of rain. But the big thing to make out of this for our most bullish model, the most aggressive model, still showing most of us in the lighter rain category, including 2/10 in Jacksonville, 2/100 in Brunswick, St. Mary's, and just 1/100 of an inch out toward way across. Now, we look at tonight. So what does this all mean? We got big plans going on, FSU, Florida tonight. The Gator Boys, I've seen some Gator Boys sweatshirts downtown. I guess that's a big fan club. We're talking about wearing those hoodies, Gator Boy hoodies. And if you're a Knowles fan, I've seen some Knowles walking down here, and they're excited for baseball, and they've got their jackets. So that's what we're going to see. For good luck, I was talking to Lee. Maybe we'll bring the ponchos and put it in the back seat for good luck. Maybe a lone sprinkle at 7 o'clock. So 6 o'clock first pitch. Not looking for a home run derby. A lot of times these two teams they'll just sock them out of the ballpark. But with that northeast wind blowing in, it's going to be a little tougher to get some of those home run balls. Weather watcher pictures. Let's take a look. We talked about birds yesterday a little bit, and Jackson. We've got Karen now in getting some bird fever here, and you can see we've got two birds that she sent in, and Brody chimed in this morning. The one on the left, all right, left side of the screen. What do you got there? What kind of bird are we looking at? Okay, yeah. Yesterday we were talking egret, and she found an egret for us because it's usually the taller bird, the brighter white, wading in the shallow water. And the one on the right, I still think is the blue heron. That would be a little blue heron, right? See, they're a little skinnier. They have the S shape. They tuck in the neck. But yeah, that blue heron was loving that 80-degree weather and near 90-degree weather yesterday at times before the nor'easter came in this morning. So we appreciate all the bird pictures and what we learned on Good Morning Jacksonville. If you can learn something every day, it's a great day. Every heron is its own thing. So basically, let's start with the egret. So what I learned about egrets, every egret is a heron. So think about that. They're part of the heron family, but every heron is not an egret. So does that make sense? Every egret is a heron, but a heron is not an egret. So there you go. I think that's what I learned. I thought that was interesting. So Brody did some research. He's got this big Google map thing he laid out for us, and we were talking birds this morning here as we watch birds and spring showers in the forecast. Showed you some model data. I showed you the model showing, some pretty heavy rain over some areas, but this model is more of our consensus model, and this one, see how it's more of a miss on the rain. And if you look at the heavier rain areas, you see the darker green. I don't see over an inch, do you? So it's more like a 1/4 to a 1/2 inch. Still could be a couple areas near the beaches with a 1/4 to a 1/2 inch, but overall, it's going to be a miss on the rain. So we got windy, cooler today, coastal shower high of 67, morning showers Wednesday, drier afternoon with that high of 73. 10-day forecast, drum roll please. And there it is. All right, so we're going all the way through April 2nd. And pretty high confidence in the maps. First thing to make out, are we going to get much rain? It does not look that way. Are we going to have a couple nor'easters, maybe local nor'easters? Yeah, I have one today, tomorrow, and then maybe again over the weekend. So the little bumps in the forecast road would be with that northeast wind off the ocean. Warmest days would be for home opener on Friday. That's March 27th. Temperature up to 87. So for the first pitch at 7:05, right around 80 degrees. And then next week, moderating and warming right back up above normal into the low to mid 80s. So as long as we're this dry and when the wind is switched more out of the southeast and really more out of the south and southwest, we're going to see temperatures well above normal. Only when we get these occasional fronts that come down for a day or two with these northeast winds will we cool down. So that's the pattern we're in. We're waiting for our rainy season to really kick in, which would probably not be until later in May for sure. So overall, that's what we have. We're looking at the very latest here where you live. And if you're just joining us, Weather Impact Live, we're watching that local nor'easter today. More wind and chill than rain. And there it is. Temperature wise, they're not going anywhere. Temperatures will fall to near 60 by late day. We'll start to see showers this afternoon, mainly along the coast, and then tomorrow, overnight tonight into tomorrow, maybe a few hit or miss showers as well. But notice temperatures back to 70. And overall, in our future cast, as we look at the big weather player with our wind advisory till 8 o'clock, would be that northeast wind. So you see the bar there, top right, and watch it with me. You can see, and then there's that rain offshore. This is some of the new data coming in. And there it is. By 3 o'clock, we've got some rain in St. Johns County, a little bit toward Putnam County. That's good. Maybe a little bit in Clay County where we need it, where we had that wildfire breakout over the weekend in the Belmore State Forest. Rainfall chances, there it is. Most of us, 30% Jacksonville, 10% Lake City. Brunswick near 0. That's not good. And then you've got St. Augustine with the best chance of rain as we head to 3 o'clock this afternoon. But again, chilly, more windy than rainy. And there's 6 o'clock. And of course, downtown, we got a little green speck near the ViStar ballpark. So nature, we said a lone sprinkle, so it wouldn't surprise me. But if you look at the deeper greens, they're mainly offshore and right along the beach. So Flagler County would be my spot. If we're going to have rain for the drive home, probably Flagler County and St. Augustine. Still showing, wow, 80% down there in southern St. Johns County to Flagler with the best chance of rain. But most of us, 30% or less. And then overnight tonight, we said maybe a little disturbance coming in from the northwest. The models have been showing that, hinting it. But again, not much moisture. So there's 11 o'clock. What did I say? 1 to 8. There it is. Maybe not really showing much, right? So we wake up tomorrow morning, mainly dry roads. We'll just watch for a spotty shower or two. And notice we're talking about rain chances 30% or less, 20% Lake City, Brunswick. And then as we go through the day, yeah, not much there. And we'll see highs back near 70, low 70s by late day. And that northeast wind, more importantly, starts to let up. So better boating weather, better beach weather. That would be Thursday and Friday of this week as we look at that new data. Satellite radar composite, we said, it's chilled down. Why we're calling for the cold weather this time around, not the cold weather, but more of the chill, the sneaky chill is what I said. I said this is not cold, but sneaky chill. But you got the cold front there. And that's what switched the winds around to the northeast. And you see the little bit of shower activity, just a little bit offshore. Come on, hold together. And I hope it just expands. I hope this thing just rocks us this afternoon. This is one of the forecasts where I'm rooting for rain. We need it so badly. So we showed more of a confined area of rain. And come on, nature, give us a little bit more. So things to tune in for here on First Coast News. Of course, we're streaming this afternoon, and we'll have another update here coming shortly. We got the noon show and then another 3 o'clock live show just for you. We take a look at our Doppler radar again. A couple of thunderbolts offshore. That's nice to see a little bit of lightning there, likely due to the warmer Gulf Stream. So there's a little more heat to work with there, and pretty good look at it. Extended outlook showing the showers moving in by late afternoon. There's our front, and as it winds up, bringing in that northeast wind and that better chance of showers as we head into this afternoon, tonight, and tomorrow. So good news here. We've got great sporting events going on around town, including some soccer, baseball tonight, Knowles and Gators. And I tell you what, we're going to get all of our sports in, and hopefully we'll get a little bit more rain. This is the in-house model that's just updated here. So you're literally looking at new information with me. And I do like the blue. We want the blue. That's where we get the beneficial rain, but it's I-95 East in St. Johns County, and it's still confined. So we're watching that area just offshore, trying to bring us some rain, and likely we'll move to the coast. But once that coastal convergence is done, just kind of fades away in our dry atmosphere, 200ths of an inch by the time you get inland. We take a look at our Sporting Jacks forecast. A lot of sports we were talking about tonight. I have a rain chance very low for the baseball game. And then tomorrow night, there we go. Here's tomorrow night, Hodges Stadium. We've got 7:30 kickoff and a shot and a goal because I don't have rain. I've got a lighter northeast wind and just a light hoodie. So that'll be nice. Nice soccer weather for the debut of the Sporting Jacks. And if we take a look at current wind speeds, again, if you're going to be out and about, hold onto your hats, two hands on the steering wheel as you're going over the bridges. You're going to feel that wind. especially over the Hart Bridge and the Dames Point Ridge this afternoon. So current wind speeds 22 in Jacksonville, 17 in Brunswick. But remember, we showed you those gusts already up near 40 miles per hour. And the higher up you go, again, you're okay on I-95, 295. But once you start that elevation, your wind speeds pick up dramatically. So be extra careful across the area on the bridges. Another look at the 7-day forecast. Here it is. Appreciate you joining us here with a live update on YouTube, Facebook. We are talking about temperatures moderating late week into Friday with our warmest day of the next 7, and then there's that next nor'easter over the weekend. Temperature-wise, 63 Jacksonville, 41 Cincinnati, 46 St. Louis. All the cold weather is staying to the north. This is just basically a wind, a chilly wind off the ocean for us. And as we look again, one more look at our current conditions before we say goodbye for now. Right now, a cloudy day, a windy day, wind advisories, a local nor'easter kicking up. We could have wind gusts of 35, 40 miles per hour along the coast. So just be extra careful out and about. And then we'll watch that rain you see just offshore start to move our way this afternoon. So, of course, stay with our weather team. We keep you updated around the clock. When there's weather, we're here. If you have any questions, I'll be on Facebook. Check out the YouTube, and we're going to be around. Of course, we've got a show at noon to 1, and we'll be back, of course, at 3 o'clock. So for Jackson Brown, meteorologist Mike Prangley, I appreciate your company, and I'll get back to watching the radar, and you get back to having a wonderful day.